What's up? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay, my journey to 10,000 live listings on eBay. Thanks for joining me for another episode. Today I want to go over exactly how to quit your job. And actually, before you quit your job, I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to make a full-time income on eBay. And I'm just going to break it down for you guys so you can see what my plan is and how I'm organizing my group so you guys can see how it works. So let me just share my screen now. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. And I'll get into the process. So yeah, if you guys can see the screen, I'll go over my thing in just a second. What's up, everybody? Yeah, as soon as you guys let me know, I will go ahead and do it. What's going on, guys? Wow, there's a lot of people already this morning. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. So as far as can you make $100 an hour reselling? I think you can. And $100 an hour is $200,000 a year. But you're going to have to make a couple of things more productive. So let's just give this a quick rundown. Most people have no problem listing 50 to 100 items a week. Now this is this is pending if you're disabled or you have trouble getting around. It might be a little bit more difficult, but if you're able-bodied or you have somebody who can help you, most people can list 50 to 100 items a week. And I want to put a caveat in here at the point of basically, even though you list 50 to 100 items per week, you're not going to sell 50 to 100 items a week. It's not going to be that quick. You're going to have to build up a little bit of inventory before you can convert that much. And I actually recommend this is going to take at least 3 months because you should have items that are quality that'll sell within 3 months. If that's the case and you follow this formula, you will be able to make a certain amount hourly after a certain amount of time. So for example, if you take 15 minutes to go find an item, so if you go out hunting, on average, it takes you 15 minutes to find an item that you want to sell that'll sell within 30 days or 3 to 6 months. Or I'm sorry, 30 to 90 days is what I meant. So you're looking for items that are going to sell within 1 month to 3 months. You take 10 minutes to listing it, right? So that's 6 per hour. Most professional resellers list faster than that. I would say if you are on your own and you're selling in a specific category, you can get that down to 5 minutes of listing, which is 12 an hour, which is double the productivity. And as you guys realize in your reselling careers, you'll realize that you can double your hourly by doubling how fast you can list. Okay, and if it takes 5 minutes for you to ship the item, that means including printing the label. And so for me, I have my items prepackaged. It doesn't take me that long to ship. It doesn't take me 5 minutes. It takes me like 1 minute because all I'm doing is printing the label and putting it on the package. Shipping does not take me over half an hour because I prepackage my items. So, but it's up to you. Let's just be conservative and say it takes you 30 minutes per item to get something listed and sold on eBay. At 50 to 100 items a week, now you're looking at 25 to 50 items a week. I'm sorry, 25 to 50 hours a week. Man, I am all over the place today. Sorry about that. So 25 to 50 hours a week of a commitment. You're gonna get 50 to 100 items a week. And this is not watching YouTube, not multitasking, but just like actual focused work, 25 to 50 hours. You're going to be able to get 50 to 100 items online. I have much more aggressive ambitions of trying to do 500 to 1,000 listings per week. And again, it's the same thing as this, just times 10, maybe with staff or maybe being more efficient. I could do it myself if I have multi-quantity listings, like people who do it for Amazon. You can list 500 to 1,000 items no problem by yourself every week. That's why people make more than, there's a lot of Amazon sellers that make more than $50 an hour because of the fact that they can just list more items. If you think about it on a basic level, sending in 50 of the exact same item is very easy, right? Maybe not as sexy or as fun as eBay selling one-off items, and the margin is not as high. But if you're looking at it hourly, which is how I'm gonna shift my mindset, how much can I make per hour? That's something that I really like. And I wanted to share that, for example, I bought 3 Barcelona jerseys for $6 each that are trending at $20 shipped, right? So I don't think I'm even quite doubling my money. I'm probably only making $5 profit, but I was able to purchase 3 at one time quickly, and I only need to do 1 listing. And so I made 1 listing with 3 of the identical jersey, put quantity of 3, packaged them so they're ready to ship. And so for me, this does fit the $100 an hour process, because it only took me about 15 total minutes to list 3 items that are going to make me $15. So that's not quite $100, but that's $60 an hour for those 3 Barcelona jerseys that I found. Most people might pass on something that's selling for 20, but there's already been 20 or 30 of these jerseys sold, so it's a fast seller, and I know it's going to move quickly. So that fits into my budget, or my time budget of trying to get to $100 an hour plus. So you need to find items faster, you need to list items faster, you need to ship items faster. This is the way to increase your hourly, and that's really what it's all about. Because when you go to get a job, you get paid to produce a certain amount of value for your time. Now, this is something that I want to have you guys realize. If you listed 50 to 100 items that only make $5 an item, and you do 50 to 100 items a week, which is going to be 25 to 50 hours, you're making basically minimum wage. If you can only list 50 to 100 items a week, that's all you're making. But that being said, finding items that are $5 profit is not very difficult, and it's a lot easier and a lot more fun than working at McDonald's or Starbucks, right? So even if you're buying items that are only $5 an item, you can definitely quit your job if you have the skill to get 50 to 100 items onto eBay. And if you don't have that skill, then don't quit your job. You need to be able to list 50 to 100 items a week and find them. If you can't do that, you can't be a full-time eBay reseller. You're not taking it that seriously as like an occupation. I'm treating this like a job, right? So I'm replacing my other job with an eBay job and looking at it hourly. So trying to get stuff, but I just want you guys to know that it's definitely doable. If you're making $10 an hour, you could be a reseller pretty quickly. Because if you could go to 1 Goodwill, you could find 50 to 100 items that are only $5 profit. Now, the secret sauce is finding stuff that's more than $5 profit, right? Because if you're in there, you find something that's $50 profit or $100 profit, now your hourly is going through the roof, but you still have to go home, you still have to list it, you still have to ship it. And so all that stuff matters when you're trying to get stuff, you're trying to figure out your hourly wage as an occupation. Let's see, let's check out, well, we got some hashtags in the chat. Clearing clutter for clarity is saying it's absolutely more fun than working those jobs. And I agree with you, and I like the shopping part, and I'm definitely trying to advocate you need these skills. You need the skill to buy 50 to 100 items, the skill to list 50 to 100 items, the skill to ship 50 to 100 items without losing them. At this level, you need some type of an inventory system to get to this level. And if you are really good at buying, then you can make $100 an hour with only 50 to 100 items. If you just pick items that are $50 profit. And some items that are like that are, let's say, cell phones, luxury accessories, some electronics, and also very rare, low in supply items. So if you're finding things that they only make 100 of and 1,000 people want it, that's going to make the profit margin generally relatively high. If you're gonna sell stuff that's really, really low profit, you're going to need to have a larger operation that moves more units. So basically, you're going to spend your time finding stuff that has a higher profit, or you're going to find stuff or you're going to sell more of easy to find stuff. So for example, I like to group my time together when I go out. I'd like to go shopping and come back with at least 20 items that are going to make me $5 to $10. Sorry, Resells is blowing up my phone. When I go out and source, I'm looking for a specific number. Oh, sorry about that. Is that you, Dan? I am going to take it away from the mic, away from my chin. Thank you for reminding me of that. What's up, David? You already have the skill set. Yeah. So if you guys want to do, oh, you're clearing for clarity. Sorry, that's TGR. Okay, back on track. As far as selling full-time on eBay, you actually need these specific skills: finding items, listing items, shipping items. Those are the 3 skills basically you need to do it. At 50 to 100 items a week, you don't necessarily need an inventory system. It would help a lot. It'd be difficult to scale beyond this, but I've seen people with 50 to 100 items just in a bedroom, on shelves at least, or in bins would be better, or on racks would be better. But basically, you want to make sure you can. I think most people can do 50 to 100 items, but it's going to take 25 to 50 hours of actual work to do that. Not like, I don't even think you could listen to YouTube and be this productive. It'd be pretty difficult because you have to concentrate, because 30 minutes per item includes all the time that you're taking stuff in and out of your house. It includes time driving to go pick up stuff. If you drop stuff up at the post office, all that time needs to be factored in. Let's see. Am I ready for the NBA Finals? Definitely. I hope they're good games. I actually, even though I live in the Bay Area, I don't care if the Warriors win or not. I just don't want it to be boring. I'm tired of blowouts. So hopefully every single game is a grind. Let's see here. I just want to really get down and factor in. So if you guys could help me out in the chat with a comment of what goes into your hourly wage, like what's included. Is researching solds while you're going to sleep counting? I think so. Does driving to the thrift store count? I think so. Does sorting and cleaning items count? I think so. I think if you take a hard look of how much time you're spending on reselling, I bet you your hourly rate's a lot lower than you think. If you have it really organized, like when I was doing the listing and I cut my listing time to 0, I added a new category of stuff, a new category of time sucking, which was sorting or preparing. So DJ is asking, since I'm in California, when I open a basic eBay store, do you have to charge sales tax? You are required to charge sales tax in your state, regardless of where you live. But definitely talk to a CPA, but you have to file sales state tax. I mean, they are very aggressive. At a certain threshold, they probably don't care, but if you want to create a real business, you need to set up sales tax. Yeah, I just want to let people know that you guys, we really make a lot less per hour than you think, most likely, unless you really try to factor in what you're trying to do. Because, and my personal goal of $200 an hour, you can't even do it this way, 50 to 100 items a week, unless I was selling stuff that was $100 profit per item. That's actually interesting. I could reach my income goal of $200,000 a year. I'm sorry, $200 per hour if I only buy 50 to 100 items that make $100 profit. That's not super easy. I actually think it would take longer to find it than 15 minutes. If you could find one of those items every 15 minutes, you would be balling, but it's not that easy because you'd have to, maybe go to a garage sales or, I don't know of too many wholesale products that are $100 profit per item. Maybe cameras or laptops are $100 profit per item. But now you're talking about a lot of capital. If you're spending $100 to $200 an item, now you're talking about spending $10,000 to $20,000 a week on these 50 to 100 items. That's pretty capital prohibitive for most people. Oh, that's a good point. Trisha's saying there's no sales tax on clothing in Massachusetts. So if you live in Massachusetts or Nevada or Oregon, where actually Nevada has sales tax but no income tax, Oregon and Massachusetts don't have sales tax on clothing. Wow, that's a pretty big advantage, Trish, because that means if you're buying clothing to resell, retail arbitrage, you don't even have to deal with the tax ramifications or dealing with the wholesale license. Let's see here. Can't just count. Exactly. You can't count on the ROI of the finding part, the sourcing part, on just thrift stores and yard sales. That's why people are doing wholesale. That's why I'm experimenting with a couple of pallets of electronics this week. So I'm going to get some in. We'll see. If you have a reliable wholesaler, you can rely a little bit more on our, it's a little bit more reliable, but it's still not perfect. Let's see here. Thank you, JJ. No, I'm not that experienced, to be honest. I just started in the thrift game like in January, but I have been leveling up. I'm meeting a lot of resellers in the community. I'm gonna rename my Facebook group to something different today because I think it's more relevant to what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, and Trish is talking about the big advantages of getting clothing retail. Like for example, when I go to Marshalls or TJ Maxx to buy clothing, they don't like accepting my tax resale certificate. It's always a pain in the ass. And I think in New York, under $100, you don't need to pay sales tax on clothing either. Yeah, that's a great point. Thriftology is saying even though the ROI it's generally the higher the ROI, the less reliable. That's generally a basic rule. It's not always true, but like, for example, if you're flipping cell phones, it's a little bit less reliable. Like, are you going to find an iPhone 6 to flip every single day? Probably not, unless you're pretty sophisticated and you have, let's say, a couple of booths in the mall that accept broken phones or trade-ins or whatever. Then you can maybe get one cell phone a day or a couple a day and reach this 50 to 100. But 50 to 100 iPhones would be insane. Let's see. I'm renaming the group, I think, the Reseller Fam, just to make it a smaller thing. I'm really digging this Patreon thing in a smaller group of people because I feel like I actually know the people in my Patreon, but I don't know all the people on YouTube because it's so big. There's like, I already have 6,500 subs and I don't know 6,000 of them, right? So I'd rather have a smaller group where I actually know people. I can give more relevant information. This hourly concept has occurred to me before, but I really didn't get into it because now I'm thinking, okay, if I'm making, like how much am I really making? If I go to the store, buy a bunch of stuff, come home, I listen to 4 hours of YouTube. This is what I did when I first started. Listen to 4 hours of YouTube, list 10 items. Then I really only made $2 an hour because I didn't, all that time I was watching YouTube, I wasn't listing, shipping, or finding stuff, right? YouTube time subtracts from your time when you can actually do it, and it takes away your focus when you're trying to do stuff. So I'm not saying you shouldn't watch YouTube, but I'm saying you shouldn't watch YouTube. What's up, Hayes? Yeah, I sent you an email back on joining it. You get to be on a weekly call with people. You could, I think you got my email. If not, I'll resend it so you can check it out. What's up, Stephanie? You're grandfathered in, by the way. I hope you're in this document. If you're not in this document, email me and I'll throw you in. Stephanie's one of my early supporters, so she gets lifetime access for free. Let's see here. They found a pair of FootJoy golf shoes for $2. I don't do auction unless I'm okay with 20% less than fixed price. And okay, this morning I had a call with a good friend. I consider him a good friend because we have the exact same values. I love this kid. He's in Connecticut, Connecticut Emporium. If you guys want to follow him on YouTube. He was talking about how a lot of the stuff he sells is seasonal, okay? Which means, get this, he's willing to wait a year for it to sell. And that makes so much sense because that gives you basically two opportunities to sell it. If you're selling winter boots right now, it's probably going to take a long time. And if you're not patient, you're going to end up giving them away because nobody needs winter boots right now. Or there are still some, but not as many. The year-long being able to wait, the long tail stuff is not too bad of a model. I don't mind it. Especially if you have higher dollar amounts. Now, here's the thing. You don't want slow selling, low profit items. That's the worst thing ever. But slow moving, expensive items is okay. I'm okay with that. There's a bunch of different people with that model, like Hearts Pickers. He has a high average sale price and a high profit margin. He's willing to wait a while. Like I think he's had a Chanel jacket for multiple years. Let's see. Yeah, Thriftology is saying in the beginning, YouTube is worth your time, but once you've learned enough, go for it. So today I spent an hour helping a lady Elaine, I helped Elaine list her first item on eBay. She's been listening to YouTube for 4 to 6 months and has not listed one item yet. So I was like, girl, well, not really girl. She's a little bit older than me, but you need to get that listed right now on the phone. And I'm out sourcing right now. So get on your phone. Let's list your first item live. So we did it. It took about an hour, and that's how long it takes to list your first item. But think about this. Her very first listing took 1 hour. And here I'm talking about 10 minutes to list an item and 30 minutes per item, including basically the time to source it. But she didn't have any time to source it because she listed it at her house. She found an item at her house to list. So meaning that's why it's so profitable to sell stuff at your house first, because you don't need to go find it. You get that time back. Let's see. Jumping on. What's up, Melody? Oh, snap. We have a call? Okay. Why is that not on my calendar? All right, guys, I got to jump off because I have a marketing call with Melody right now to help me with my Facebook group. So if you guys have any questions, please email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com. But I got to jump on a call right now with Melody, see what I can do with my Facebook group, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Let's see.